dreh's von der Schulter. Leg das Stativ auf die rechte Seite hinter mich.
Hello! I thought you meant the other way. How are you? Welcome to Big Sur. California, that is.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. And,
It's very much California, yeah. Best part of California?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's great. Look at the light's perfect. Almost. Well, it is. It's pretty good, isn't it? Yeah. This is our California dream. This is where we live, and it's kind of special. It's our Big Sur property south of Carmel, south of San Francisco, about 2.5 hours, and it's where we come to relax and recreate, and that's what we're here doing. So there. Here's my favorite building on the ranch right there. It's this little, supposedly that's where Monterey Jack cheese was first made. Now, it might be a myth, but I like to think it's true. I don't know why. Of course, Monterey was here before that building, probably, but I don't know. I don't know. It's kind of neat, though. Honey, did you plant that little bush there?
Okay, we're rolling.
All right. Stand.
How are you?
Great. Welcome. Interesting. Yeah. Well, look what we have here. Is the coffee on?
Yes, sir. Would you like a cup?
Yeah, thanks. What's this?
You never read that?
Oh, I've heard of it.
Yeah, I think it's quite good.
Good.
He did a lot of research.
Oh, good.
Did he talk to you as well?
No, who's the author?
Timothy White?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. Not really. No, he didn't talk to us very much, but
He talked to Brian a lot, I think. But
have one of these in the house. One of these little guys. Or where is that, Stan? Where's that? Right over there. Stan is my main man.
wow.
This is the unfinished symphony.
Yeah.
That Brian and the Beach Boys, my partners, attempted to finish, and it's right here, as you see in this little book here, and it was the sequel, follow-up to Good Vibrations in Pet Sounds.
Yeah.
And as you can see here, Good Vibrations was slated to be on this album.
Yeah.
And of course, it didn't happen. Oh yeah, that's all across the front here too. And so we were saving it for this one.
Yeah.
It didn't appear on Pet Sounds, which became a problem for Capitol Records because they wanted a hit record on Pet Sounds.
But Sloop John B was on Pet
Well, so
Sounds.
they said, "What can we do? We need a hit. We need a hit song on Pet Sounds." So they took Sloop John B off of the shelf because it had been released several months earlier, and or maybe the year earlier. I can't remember.
Yeah. Sure.
And put it on Pet Sounds, which became really it was a strange coupling.
Yeah.
And it didn't help the sales. It was a big flop. Didn't sell anything.
I think it was number 10 or something. It's not a flop.
Well, not when it came out. It didn't happen until 30 years later. Is that the box? Is that the Pet Sounds box set deal?
Yeah, that's from
Look at
the
this.
that's
Just
from the
reading
box.
about
Yeah,
Smile.
not from the Pet Sounds box.
Oh, this is
from
not the Pet
wooden
Sounds?
box. Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I have the wooden box
I
somewhere.
brought
around.
that. Yeah.
But it's like this. It's the same kind of deal.
Yeah.
Same packaging with the box and everything. And,
What was your age on the front photo there?
Oh, probably 21. At least, I haven't changed much.
Yeah,
But
you're absolutely right.
but
Incredible.
30 years, almost to the day or the year, it became the most popular album of all time, supposedly, right? I mean, suddenly it's the most popular. I don't know how that happens, but to yesterday's newspaper, there's a poll that was released in USA Today.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know that paper, USA Today?
Sure.
And it became the number 2
Right after
all-time
Sgt. Pepper? Or
all-time album. I don't know. I don't
number
know what
one was
number
probably Sgt. Pepper then.
But isn't it why?
Sgt. Pepper,
30 years.
the Beatles. Yeah, that was
Well, it came out in '67, so that's
1 year
actually.
later. Wow.
I can't figure it out. 27 years later? Is it 37? 27 years later.
Yeah, Pet Sounds.
Why did they say 30? Anyway. No, this is 2001 now, for God's sake. I'm
30,
already
35 years, yeah.
Something
Pet
like
Sounds, yeah.
But,
It's probably the biggest record
it's
of
because
this era.
because of this project, this unfinished project. Pet Sounds was not complete as an album because it didn't have a masterpiece on it, in my opinion. The masterpiece, Good Vibrations, was missing. Even Paul McCartney made an issue of that. He says it, and I think maybe that's why, because he must have known, because we're on the same label. In his,
Your birds.
those are the guinea hens. My wife loves guinea hens. And they scare the hell out of everybody. They keep him up all night, and they keep my son moved away because of them. So anyway, but Paul McCartney said Sloop John B doesn't fit on this album. It doesn't. It's the one tune he doesn't appreciate, and I love it. It's my favorite song, almost of the earlier generation music. But Paul was right. He sensed that it didn't belong in context. It was contextual, meaning it didn't fit. Now, I think it was evolutionary. It seemed to move from Pet Sounds. I should say, I'm sorry. It seemed to develop musically from that period of time, from Sloop John B. I think it musically integrated okay, but he missed Good Vibrations on. I think is what he was saying really, is that it should have been Good Vibrations. So I don't know. It's kind of interesting looking back on it, on the career, and the Beach Boys as a whole, were quite against not using Good Vibrations. In other words, we wanted it on Pet Sounds, and Brian said, "No, it can't. It won't go on there." He would just put his foot down. It's not going on. I said, "But Brian, it's from that same. It's the same evolutionary music. It's where it all came from." So.
Okay. What's wrong?
I don't know, this chair. Maybe I felt something. Okay. Cool.
So I interrupted you. You just wanted to say something about what you just released?
Capitol is attempting to release, as we speak, a project called the Hawthorne Days. No. Hawthorne is where we went to high school. Yeah. And Brian and I then went on to, when I say we, Brian and I, and his brothers went on to El Camino College, which is a small junior college. And that's where Brian and I reunited and became basically reacquainted, or, we never really socialized in high school. So in college, we decided we would get together and sing some songs. I said,
that's how the Beach Boys started then.
Well, yeah, from my point of view, my perspective with the family is that he introduced me to them through the reemergence, our personal reemergence into college. So we tried to find some singers. We tried to find some singers to work with, and we couldn't find anybody.
Yeah.
And neither of us really played anything. Brian played piano. I take it back. Brian played piano, and I played a little guitar. And but we couldn't really find a suitable group. So he said, I can introduce you to my brother. My little brother Carl can sing. His little brother was 12 years old at the time, right, or 13. He said he can sing really good, and he plays the guitar. And I said, okay. And my uncle, my cousin Mike can sing baritone. And I said, well, that sounds great. Let's go to your place. It's, just like kids. So we just traded the college music room for Brian's music room in his home. He had a music room there with an organ and a piano, and his brothers came to practice. Dennis didn't really play anything either. None of us really were players. We were more singers. We never really had a band. We didn't really do anything, to be honest with you, until that moment where we all got together, and Mike came over, Mike Love, to see what he could do. It was just really a strange thing when you think about it. Mm. They obviously had been singing together already at holidays, Christmas, New Year's, things like that. They would get together around the piano a lot as a family. And when I had suggested we record a folk song, the idea was strong enough that we went to a recording studio with their father's permission and with his blessing, I might add, because we couldn't do anything. We were all underage, so we didn't drive and we didn't have any.
How old were you?
Well, Brian had a car. Brian had a car.
So he was 16 or something?
No, we were 19.
Wow.
But that's under, you still can't do anything until you're 21, really, legally, in California anyway, at that time. And so Murray, the father, Murray Wilson, had to have my mother's permission to even, do anything. I guess he was thinking of contractual commitments. He was thinking already, I'm going to be a manager, right? So he got my mother's permission. They talked about it, and then we went down to a little studio on Melrose Avenue in Hollywood, and we surprised them with a little surfing song.
Although none of you was very much into surfing at that time.
Dennis
was the surfer. Yeah. That's why he wasn't able to play an instrument at that time.
Right. He just was always, his love was, obviously in the outdoors.
Yeah. He
loved the outdoors. And he brought this idea home about surfing. Well, we recorded the song in September of 1961. With money that we borrowed from my mother. She was terrified. She thought we were going to break all the instruments, and lose them or something. I told her, so we interviewed. We went down to her house, our house in my apartment actually in Torrance that I lived in with my family, and we interviewed for her. The group came and we all sat down. I remember sitting down on the floor in a circle. And we sang, probably sang Surfin', and we sang Their Hearts Were Full of Spring, which is a beautiful a cappella song. It's 4-part harmony, written for the Four Freshmen. I believe it's a Four Freshmen tune. That was our classic tune. So we knew we could impress anyone with that.
Yeah.
Anyone, even my mother.
How much money was it at that time to record just one single?
$300.
$300.
Oh no! The $300 was to rent the equipment.
Oh yeah.
We had to rent the bass.
Yeah.
Guitar. We had to rent the stand. It was a stand-up bass, a double bass, they call it, and a snare drum.
Yeah. And the recording, what did the recording studio and everything else cost?
Well, we didn't have to do that. We needed the instruments to rehearse.
Yeah.
We had to actually have instruments, so we had to rent them. So I knew where to go to do that, so I rented them. And Brian then taught us the song on the piano, so we could accompany ourselves. But oddly enough, he played the drum. He played the snare drum on the recording session with his fingertip. That was the sound that you hear on the record. It's just Brian's fingertip going bump, bump, bump like that. You know. Yeah. I guess the studio didn't have a piano when I think about it. But anyway, so I played bass, and Carl played guitar, and Brian played snare drum, and that was the song, and that's how it started. Isn't that wild?
It is wild.
And I never played bass before. I mean, that was one of the. Well, maybe I shouldn't say that. I played bass in a more or less in a folk group prior to that.
Mm.
Because at that time, the electric bass was not still so popular. It was just becoming, it was just the kind of happening. Mm. Fender guitars are now producing Fender bass guitars. Mm. And we, of course, I didn't consider that because at the time I never played one. So we rented these things and we came pretty close to a hit record. Mm. It was a hit in Detroit, Michigan. Mm. It was number 3 in Detroit and number I think top 20, top 40 I should say, top 40 across the rest of the country. Mm-hmm. It wasn't a huge thing, but enough of an attention getter to impress Capitol Records. And then Capitol said, well, actually, we then went into another recording studio, did 3 demos, which then I think impressed Capitol even more. So that was that's the way it started.
That was the start.
Yeah, my mother, I keep having to think about that because in the bibliography on ABC television here, they don't start with that story. They start later. Mm-hmm. With Murray Wilson as manager, and Murray Wilson coming up with all the money and taking all the responsibility when, in fact, it was earlier than that.
Do you think that it was a good idea to call it the Beach Boys, or did it label the band too much?
Yeah, we really didn't like the name. We called ourselves the Pendletons, which is a shirt that I believe, I don't know if they show that shirt here anywhere. No,
maybe in the other one.
It's a sweater shirt made in Oregon, which
maybe it's in here.
Maybe, I think it's possibly. And so we named ourselves literally after the shirt. Oh, there's that record. There's the first record right there. Yeah. That's the label. It came out on a small label, and the A&R man of this label actually gave us the name. Yeah. Because we couldn't think of anything else other than the Pendletons, or whatever. And so we had no identity at the time, really. Oh, there's Carl. There's Carl Wilson in one right there.
Yeah.
This little blue plaid shirt.
That's a Pendleton.
Yeah. I think. Yeah.
When you wear it this year, this is on the.
And then we graduated into suits.
Yeah.
Wow.
Drumsticks too.
Oh, very smart.
That was my first suit I ever owned. Was bought by the Beach Boys. Really. I mean, we were very naive. We had literally no experience. No worldly experience. We hadn't even hooked up to electricity yet. Carl did. Carl had a little electric guitar, but it wasn't. It wasn't like. It was weird, pretty. But anyway.
But why didn't you like the name Beach Boys?
Beach Boys was too limiting. I thought it was just a little bit. However, it was descriptive of the first music that was produced by the band, and oftentimes a group will latch on to to the environmental. Your environment is the place where you find your lyrics and your experience, your life experiences, and being in the South Bay, we call it the South Bay area of Los Angeles. That's where that lyric, that sport, that pastime, as we would call it here, was quite popular. And Dennis, being the avid surfer, brought those stories home.
Yeah.
It really was folk music when you think about it.
Yeah.
It was like American folk music, I think. And I wasn't too far off, really, when I suggested we do a folk song.
Yeah.
And I think that those early surfing songs were like folk songs. Because they described an event that was actually happening in their time.
I think when times changed to flower power and then hard rock and all this, end of 60s, then was it almost an obstacle to be entitled the Beach Boys at that time?
Yes, it was very it was very unhip, I think we'd call it, to sing the praises of surfing and the good time. The good times of the 60s were gone. They were literally, they had vanished, and we were in the middle of the Vietnam War. And flower power had pretty much taken over, and the raw nerves of this country were exposed. And it took a lot of drugs and a lot of inner healing to get through that period.